Good morning. How we all doing? Today we are going to have a recap on one of the videos we've actually treated on the channel before, and that video was actually talking about the history of the Agbor people, the Ukwuani people, and some other communities that you get mostly in Western Igboland. And so it is that video that we will be having a recap on, just to go through the chapters that were treated in that video. There were about 3, 4, 5 chapters. Now, the first chapter we looked at was the Dei and the Umudei in Western Igboland. Now, the Dei and the Umudei, this is a cultural construct among the Igbo people of the Western Igboland. It's a very key established aspect of their Igbo life over there, okay? Another topic that was looked into was the Dein and its origins. Dei actually is not originally an Igbo name. So we looked at the construct and the history and the origin of the name. Now, another chapter we looked into was the arrival of the Agbor, the Ukwuani people. Now, we looked into the separate migrations. We were able to establish the fact that there is a difference in the time that some of these communities actually relocated to this part of the world. Another chapter we looked into was the contact between both groups. That's the people mostly in Western Igboland and the Roman civilization. There is always something you imbibe from the other people. So aspects of this imbibed practices was looked into in one of the chapters. We also looked into the reality of Agbor using the Dein in their traditional leadership. Unlike many other communities where you get Eze is actually the main word for king. Any other thing is just a derivation or an adaptation. When you hear Obi, when you hear Igwe, these are just adaptations. Now, when you go among the Agbor people, you find the fact that they use a name known as Dein. It's just Dei, but with a heavier nasalization. So you get something like Dein. We looked into how that came about. Another thing that we looked into, and which will be touched on in the recap video, is the evolution of the word Dei within the Igbo language. Now, the word, as I mentioned earlier, Dei is actually a foreign word, but it was brought into the Igbo language, mostly by the people in Western Igboland. And it has evolved, that is, it has now taken other shapes within the Igbo language. There are words that have come out of Dei that we use in our everyday conversation in the Igbo language. Looking more into language history here. I will be recapping all these chapters individually. So this one is just a kind of introduction into what to expect in the other videos. Okay, thank you for listening.